Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Pink ball test in Bangalore. We've had two pink ball test matches so far. Neither have gone the distance. The one in Kolkata, I think India just had too much firepower for Bangladesh. That pink ball was really zipping, was coming way too quick. Too many players were getting hit on the head. I don't think they were able to adjust over there. And then in Ahmedabad was a different kind of surface. In Bangalore, you know Bangalore conditions really well. Pink ball against the Sri Lankan side. What can we look forward to?
For a start, I think there would be a lot more for the fast bowlers, as we were seeing around the world, even in India. We saw when they left a bit of grass, it does a bit. It does a bit is actually a bit of an understatement. It does a lot actually. So I do think in Bangalore there'll be a lot in it for the medium pacers if they decide to give a little bit of grass. Sometimes I have played in that ground where in Ranji Trophy cricket, the first hour in many ways is an unplayable hour. After that, the wicket tends to get slower and lower and sometimes boring, a tad bit boring. But I would think the fact that India hasn't played for some time in Bangalore, I do think it'll be an interesting game. Bangalore hasn't hosted a match for some time, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of wicket they give. I do hope that for the fact that we've seen a lot of spin in Mohali, I would like to see our fast bowlers come into the game a lot more. It'll be interesting to watch them bowl. But one good thing is, unlike in other countries, we play with the SG pink ball as well, which again has a very a seam that protrudes a bit like the Duke's ball, and it does quite a bit. When we played the Dilip Trophy games, we played with the pink ball, which was Kookaburra. But obviously, when it comes to Kookaburra, a new ball does a bit, and after that, it just gets flat and good to bat with. Whereas the SG pink ball has a lot more for the bowlers and the spinners as well. I'm just hoping and praying somewhere that just like how Sri Lanka in the T20 game, after the first game and they're annihilated, came back and did well in the second game, even though in many ways India dominated in the second innings with the bat. I thought Sri Lanka were very good in that game in terms of the way they batted. I would love a better effort from Sri Lanka because at the end of the day, if Test cricket needs to survive and go the distance, we need teams to compete.
True. It'll be an interesting one. If indeed it does favor fast bowling conditions, would you look at, say, someone like a Siraj or Umesh Yadav coming in place of a Jayant Yadav? I believe Akshar Patel might also be might be available for that game. We're still waiting to get a confirmation. But would you make that kind of change, or would you go straight through with the team that you have at the moment?
No, for sure. I think it'll be a straight swap for me. For me, Mohammad Siraj will play in the 11 if there is any inclination of it having something for the fast bowlers. And I think if Akshar Patel is fit, again, he's a straight swap with Jayant Yadav. If it's going to be a flat wicket, I think the choice would be between Jayant, a fit Akshar, and a Mohammad Siraj for me. And if it's going to be a wicket that eats spin, Jayant Yadav. If it's going to be a wicket that's going to obviously help the fast bowlers, for sure, Mohammad Siraj.
Just for the benefit of a lot of people watching this, the pink ball is different from the red ball. The red ball is polished, and that is why when you rub it on your trousers, you can get a shine on one side. The pink ball, DK, and you played with the pink ball, it has more lacquer on it, right? It has just more coatings. It's almost like there's more paint on it. So you can't actually polish it, right? You can't look after the ball the way you look after a red ball. Would that be a fair comment in the same
Yes,
manner?
absolutely, Asha. I think we're going to understand swing works scientifically because the shine of the ball, and with a pink ball the lacquer, as just Harsha said, it is far higher, and that's why you see the ball swinging a lot more. And obviously I don't want to get into the scientifics of it, cutting air and all of that, but for the
No,
moment,
don't. I don't want to say DK, the expert in Bernoulli's principle and fluid dynamics and whatever.
yeah, so I think obviously, and that's why with that ball it's hard to reverse the ball. It's a lot easier to get the ball to swing it normally. And B, the fact that in twilight, when there is a bit of light from the natural light, which is obviously the setting sun, and then there's a floodlight, at that point of time it gets a little hard to sight the ball as well at times, and the ball tends to do a little more because the air is lighter at that point of time. And that's why as the night goes on, it gets tougher and tougher to bat once the floodlight comes out, because the ball tends to do a lot more. That's why you see, if you've watched, if who is watching this have watched Australia and Adelaide, when they play, in many ways they would declare just before they turn the floodlights on, or they bat in such a way that they'll give themselves an opportunity to bowl under lights, because we have all seen a couple of spells from some of the bowlers where they just run past the batting, and that can very well happen here. And it'll be very good to watch a fast bowler at his peak, just running through a team.
Quick one before we go on Sri Lanka. Clearly, Lahiru Kumara's out. They wouldn't have minded his extra pace with that pink ball over there. So I wonder if Dushmantha Chamira will come back. He's only played 12 Test matches. That surprised me a little bit. 12 or 13 Test matches. But really, I don't think they've got too much other choice. So they'll probably bring in Dushmantha Chamira for Lahiru Kumara. In terms of batting, I don't know. Do they want to look at Dinesh Chandimal in there? Do they want to look at Kusal Mendes in there? But if you look down that list, there's not a lot unless they want to bring in Karunaratne in the side, because they'll get a little bit more batting and they'll get a little more support with as a seam bowler. But there's not. What would you make a change? I mean, one you have to make.
Yeah, obviously one is a forced change, and I think that'll be Chamira. For me, the batting, I don't think they trust Chandimal as much as they used to, and that's why you see obviously Dick Weller getting an opportunity ahead of him. We will all like to think that Chandimal is the better overall player, but even though he's played as a batter over a period of time, for some strange reason, I don't think they believe in him as much, or they believe that they've given him enough opportunities. He's not done well. So for me, I don't know how better to put it at this point of time. I don't see too many changes with the batting, and that's not a great sign, to be honest. And when it comes to bowling, obviously, I think the one forced change will happen, and I hope that there is a wicket which aids fast bowlers, because if they end up playing the similar sort of 11 and it's going to aid spinners, then they're going to have a couple of long days again as well.
Yeah, I mean, they would look at maybe playing Karunaratne for Asalanka. That might reduce the batting a little bit. They've just been bowled out 174, 178, but they can't afford to go into a pink ball Test match and lose a seamer like they have over here. So they've got a lot of issues. What I would like to see more than anything else is sometimes there could be a mismatch. It could appear that there is a mismatch sometimes, but I would like to see a lot more spirit. I would like them to say, my wicket counts, hang in there, we'll give you a contest. And you really can't ask for too much more than that in Bangalore, because otherwise it's looking like fairly easy 2-0. And with the percentage of points on the World Test Championship table, little progress up for India.